What time is it? It's conjecture time. In your earbuds and online, anytime. You can get it on iTunes and Spotify soon. It's supposed to be up on YouTube, but that dude didn't help me out much when I requested a help ticket and shit. Yeah, so that's how it's been. Not to complain. Having a great day. How are you doing? Good. It's always good to check in. Seriously. Texts just aren't the same. It's good to hear people's voices. All right. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm well. It's a podcast time. Okay. This podcast is with Big Nate. Nate Reno out of Calgary. Big Nate Productions Nate. Bass player of Kayaktis Nate. We've got a lot in common. We both played in metal bands for a billion years. We both record and mix audio. We do live sound and production and that kind of stuff. So we did this as a SWAPCAST. So Nate will be releasing this under his channel, Gettin Hard in Nate's Backyard. That's the name of his podcast. Gettin Hard in Nate's Backyard. Check it out. Follow him. Find him on iTunes. Wherever you find podcast stuff, follow him on Twitter, all that. Nate used to do his podcast in his backyard out of the short bus. But the short bus got too small. It's a little too tight to contain Nate and his aura and his gang of metal bands and comedians that he has over on his podcast. So check it out. This is also, of course, released under this channel, Conjecture Time, episode number 16. Nate Reno, Nate Renal, Big Nate, Nate, the bass player from Kayaktis. It's all the same guy, the big, lovable Viking with a sinister but beautiful grin and a beard to match. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Nate. There you go.
How the hell are you, Chris? Welcome to Getting Hard in Nate's Backyard.
I'm well, dude. I wish I was in your backyard. It feels like I am, but geographically, I'm just not there.
Yeah, that's a pretty dope backyard to be in, though, where you're at.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, man. I was just telling you before we got rolling here, I was at my buddy Matt's place, and they built an igloo in their backyard. So he's really got it made now. He's like, he iced it up and everything. They just dug it out. They've been building it up and, solidifying it, and now they have a sweet little hut, and he's thinking of renting it out on Airbnb.
Oh, man. Like a hunting camp or something. Is there deer out there?
Yeah, I don't know. You could fit, a couple cots in there. Not too much, but yeah, I thought they should get a little stove in there or something.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So we should tell the people where we are. I'm in Calgary, Alberta, and we're talking via telephone because it's the most secure, stable means of communication. And you're in just outside of Saskatoon, right? Yeah,
man, I'm at the Sun Temple Studios just outside of Kalonze, near Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Mm-hmm. Great place. How many acres is that place?
I don't know, man. Those measurements escape me. I don't know. The studio's just on the home quarter, and the owner, he owns a few more sections around this area that he just rents out to other farmers, but I don't know how many there are. It's not too much land, it's enough land for anybody from the city is like, it just seems like forever, but in terms of farmland, it's not a ton.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I should have said this at the beginning, but thanks a lot for doing this. I was thinking today, I was like, fuck, haven't we done this already? But I figured we had done this already.
I think we put it out there once, but no, thanks for reaching out, man. It was like 6 hours ago, maybe I got a text from you. Hey, we should do a SWAPcast. Fuck yeah, let's see if we can get it rolling tonight.
Yeah, fucking A. Well, thanks for being on it like that, because it's nice to be able to put out content when it comes to these things. You know what I mean, right?
Absolutely, man. That's the hardest thing is consistency. Everyone wants to, I want to dabble in everything. I want to try everything, but to get good at anything or to really develop any gravity around it or build up a following, you have to be consistent and build. And yeah, I'm trying to hold myself to my podcast coming out just once a month. I'm like, that's fucking doable. At first I was like once a week, and you realize, oh shit, you got to book guests and there's editing to do and whatever. And
Yeah, life shit.
Life shit, but consistency, yeah. Yeah, one a month, I should be able to do that. What about you? How often have you been putting up your podcast? You've been pretty solid with it.
Well, yeah, not as consistent as I want to be, for sure. There was sometimes I'll go a couple months without putting any out, but I just put one out after about, I don't know, I think it was 2 or 3 months.
Oh yeah,
August, I believe. So, but yeah, I know what you mean exactly. Like, oh, one a week for sure. That's no problem, right? Yeah, well, it is. Like you say, booking guests and what are you going to talk about all that time? And I don't know.
That's it. And there's just real life stuff. Yeah, when you got a family, man, all those responsibility bubbles around you, just time just seems to, like, you just throw it away like money. Like, it's just rent, every month there's just heaps of time that you just shovel away. Sleeping for
sure.
one, bullshit like that. And then
absolutely.
How old's your kid now? You got one or do you have two?
I just have one.
You got one little girl, right?
Yeah, she's turning 5 like next week.
Wow. Yeah, I think last time I saw you, she was maybe like 2. It's been a couple of years since I've seen you.
Yeah, for sure. You have 2, right? Girls?
Yeah, 10 and 7.
10 and 7. Wild. Yeah, you're a little further down the road than me.
Yeah, little.
They must help out a lot more at that age.
You'd think they would.
Damn it.
Yeah, man. When they get to be that age too, they like the time. Like the 10-year-old goes to swimming 3 times a week, and we live about 35 minutes out of the city, so driving into the city and back 3 times a week for swimming. And the younger one was taking drum lessons actually with grandma. She did for
cool.
a couple months, but she's kind of like me. She likes to dabble, and she doesn't want to commit to really. So she's not doing that anymore.
Yeah, I was like that at that age too. Still am, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
so cool. That's cool. We should, for people that don't know you, that might be listening to this. So you're kind of like me. That's how we were able to do this so quickly, in the sense that we do different stuff for a living, like more musically kind of based, right?
Yeah, everything revolving around
night
music.
Owls.
Yep.
Night owls.
Yeah. Not unusual to catch, I'm sure, yourself or me up at the studio at 2 a.m, tweaking something.
Sure. So you do a lot of studio work and anything else in the music industry, or like, do you have a day job? I can't remember.
No, I worked at Long McQuaid for a long time, and I think I've been away from there now for probably 5 years this year, since I've just been, working for myself, and I've done some production jobs on the side, helping out with sound at some events on the side, and one-off bar gigs and stuff like that. I'm doing less and less of that, and just kind of spending more time in the studio.
That's awesome. What are you working on right now?
Right now, I've got a kind of big band crooner type guy named Drew Tofin working on.
Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah,
man.
I think
that's awesome.
3rd or 4th project I've done with him, and it's cool because it's a wide range of instruments. Like there's horn sections, string sections, drums and bass.
Very
and
cool.
Really solid players, and Drew's a great singer, and it's it's nice to be able to stretch out into that stuff and give your ears a break from the metal.
Sure. Exactly. Yeah. I feel that on Wednesday. I guess I don't know what date it is. I'm doing this 18-piece big band that comes to Dickens.
Oh wow!
They're called the Wednesday Night Big Band. They're a real good time.
Awesome.
Yeah. They have a 4-piece trumpet section, and then 4 or 5 trombones, and 4 or 5 saxophones, and the saxophones always play like something else, like flutes or piccolos or something.
Yeah.
And then a rhythm section, drummer, bass, guitar player, keyboard player. And then they have 2 singers that trade off.
Awesome.
It's weird doing it live, for sure. It's so are you doing a lot of sections like that in recording something like that? are you getting like 4 trumpets in there to do like a section at a time, or
Yeah,
are
sometimes
you layering one trumpet a whole bunch of times?
No, we'd get sections, like usually 3 players at a time, 3 trumpets or 3 saxophones.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, a couple violinists and a cellist, and then even with some of those, to make them sound like a bigger section, we would maybe double some parts just so we could spread it out, or add some harmonies, layers of strings or horns.
Sure. Well, talk about your studio for a second. I mean, super dork alert. Like, if you don't know tech stuff, just fast forward a little bit. But like, what do you run in there? Do you have an analog board that goes into a computer, or what are you rocking there at Sun Temple Studios?
Yeah.
What's the name of your company too? Yeah.
So the way it's set up, Tone Shift Audio is everything that I do audio related. That's just my business name I go under. And this building is Sun Temple Studios. So myself and Graham built the place with a good friend of ours, Mike from Johnny Don't. And he's had a lot of contracting experience and handyman stuff, and we just kind of had a dream and a vision, and Graham's dad helped us with the materials, and so we put this thing together. It's built into a house. It's kind of the best we could for being built into a structure that's already here. Double walls everywhere, and like resilient channel in the ceilings, and the heavy drywall with all the insulation and the extra layers of sheetrock up in there, and just kind of
very cool.
Did the best we could for being built into a house. So there's the control room, a live room, a vocal booth, and another ISO booth in the back for cabs, and there's a kitchenette here. There's a band room with bunk beds and a big sectional, and another sectional in the kitchen, and another bedroom in the back. It's a big box of a place. Bathroom and shower down here. So sometimes bands will come out for a weekend, or a few days. There are accommodations so you can just really immerse yourself in a project. But yeah, on the gear side, I'm pretty happy with my setup now. I've got this vintage Soundcraft Series 600 board. It's 24 channel 8 bus, and it's been all recapped, and the power supply's all recapped and kind of overbuilt. So it's about as clean as it could be, and the EQs are handy. I used to have a Soundcraft 200 board, and it didn't have sweepable mids, so the EQs were only so useful. So and I've got the 24 channels normal. I've got the Orion 32 ADDA, so 32 ins, 32 outs for.
Oh, really?
For analog.
Fucking A, dude! I'm looking at that Goliath.
Oh yeah.
Man, I want that thing so bad.
That's the big guy. But yeah,
when did you get the Antelope stuff?
The Orion I just got within the year. I think it was last summer. Has it been that long?
Oh,
no,
wow,
it might even been still this year. I don't know. It's almost been a year.
Is it an audible difference?
It's really clean, but like not in like a sterile way.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, it is. It's got a sweeter top end for sure, and it's not as tubby. I had a 002, like a Black Lion modded 002 before, and that was fine and good, but you can only take those things so far. And right away, the noise floor dropped with the Antelope, and I just noticed the top end was nicer, a little more pleasant, and the bottom end was tighter, like it wasn't as tubby. So that's there's all these
awesome,
audio terms. Warm and smooth and soft and brittle and edgy, and I don't know. Everyone's got their own ways of hearing things, but that's my impression on it. But my favorite thing about it is just how, and I'm not sponsored by these guys by any means, but just I did have some tech problems at the start. They had some shitty kind of drivers and stuff like that for PC. I've been running on PC forever. But yeah, the sweetest thing about this is just 32 ins, 32 outs clean, so I can have like 24 channels on my board, normaled right to it. Then some outboard pre's normal to it, and I've got my patch bay if I want to change anything around or patch in anything in between.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I'm pumped about the Goliath because it's got 16 pre's built in.
Oh,
and then you can dock up to 32 at once.
Mm-hmm.
So then I could have a funky, like I get, I don't have my ideal producer rack built yet. Fuck, I wish I will soon. Enough.
Yeah, it's almost never ending. Right?
Well, I've almost kind of actually almost just started too. Like, I'm gonna be. Yes, I've already acquired stuff, so I'm starting to acquire stuff now. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
Cool stuff that you only buy once, like because
Right.
it's really, really good. And putting it in a rack, but yeah, for getting going right away, I can't wait to hear that thing. It's like $6,000 though.
Yeah, man, that's it. But yeah,
The one I want.
like you said, yeah, you could use that for the rest of your career as long as they support the software.
All right, why wouldn't they? They better.
Yeah, well, that's
I
the
can't
thing.
be expected to use this computer forever, can I?
Well, that's it. Like with the Digi stuff, like I was using my 002 till the bitter end, but they stopped putting out drivers for anything past Pro Tools 10 officially. It works on Pro Tools 11, but you had to kind of hack it.
Man, I think they really took the wrong route with all that, trying to sell everybody all that hardware and then legacying it. I mean, I know Apple does it and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's kind of, look at all the other things it's sprouted, like every other DAW in the world. Like you can get Reaper now for $60 full unlock, like
Right.
open source DAW because, and you don't have to pay it for a $20,000 piece of hardware to turn it on either.
Yeah, exactly. Big expensive key.
Well, that's cool. What else? What's the last couple projects you've done, just to give people an idea?
I've been working with Sequel, local hip hop guy. He's kind of
Cool.
been on hiatus from the studio a bit. He's got a big family he's supporting and living life. But I think he's coming back pretty soon to work on these two records he's been working on here. So the hip hop stuff's fun. The stuff I've done with him, I didn't produce the beats, so he'll have beats from other producers, bring him in, and then I just record and produce the vocals here with him.
Sure. Yeah. Cool.
And then one of them I'll be mixing, and one of them he's sending off to another guy to mix. And
Right.
what else? Grizzly Hawk. They're a fun band. This is the third project with these guys I've worked on. We recorded last month. We did 6 songs, just an EP. They've just been itching to put out some new stuff. They're from Humboldt out here. It's a smaller city, about an hour from Saskatoon, I guess.
Yeah. Probably has 1,000 people in it tops.
Oh, it's maybe I think it's more like 50,000 or something. I think.
Oh,
I
wow.
could be wrong. Maybe there's 20 or 30, but no, they seem to have a lot of, like that small town support, but I think it's a little bit bigger than a small town. Maybe 20,000. I don't know. But yeah, they're like skate punk metal kind of stuff and really, really fun. I don't know. It's fun working with those dudes. Just kind of reminds me of the good old Sparky days when all the guys are in the same room on the same page, working on the same music and sweating it out and joking around,
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I was trying to get there somehow. Yeah. I don't know if people know, but you're the guitar player for Sparky.
Yeah.
Is Sparky still active, or are you guys on hiatus, or just keeping it real and just feeling it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say active. We actually had to kind of get all in contact here recently. Somebody asked us to play, I don't know if it was 420 Fest or something in Calgary. Something to do with 420.
Probably.
And we were asked to play that, so we got back on the old group message. We haven't all been in the same room for a while. Actually, Graham's wedding, we all got together. So that's when we last saw each other in September.
Man, if I wouldn't have had a huge gig that weekend, I would have fucking been there.
Oh, that was a busy weekend. It's one of the last nice weekends in summer. There's always stuff going on.
And have you ever been out to Edgewood?
I went out there for the actual wedding there too. And
that was the first time you were there, though?
yes. Oh,
Pretty cool, eh?
Yeah. Beautiful place, man. Little paradise.
Yeah, fucking nuts.
But yeah, it was at the ceremony that they had out here at the farm, or not ceremony, but just a kind of a party for all the people that didn't make it out to Edgewood. And that's when John and Niels and Graham and I all got together out here. It's the last time we were in the same place.
I see.
But yeah, we got offered this gig, and I thought, yeah, that'd be great. But here's, my terms is just that as long as we can practice at least once a week leading up to the gig. We haven't all played together for like over a year, whatever. Maybe it's been 2 years now. I don't know. But I'm like, if we're going to do this, I'm not going to get back together and then play some shitty set, that You don't want to come back shittier. So I'm like, if we can jam at least once a week and put in our own time and just kind of tighten up, I'd be willing to do this. But we're trying to book get together times and it's just kind of been tough. Neil's going to school. John's working in a school right now. And
well, doesn't Neil live like out here?
Yeah, but he's going to school now here. He's doing his practicum here for social work. Or when I say here, I mean in Saskatoon. So he's living with his brother during the week, going to school there, and then he zips home on the weekends or every other weekend or whatever to visit the family.
Yeah, cool. I saw him. He came out to one of our Red Deer shows.
Oh yeah, I'd always see these little pictures he'd post, get jealous, like, there's Neil's and Big Nate and Big James, and everybody's getting together. All these dudes I haven't seen forever. Yeah,
that's right. Big James was there that night too. Yeah, good time.
Yeah. I saw him in the picture there too. So it's been tough. Like we all want to get together and the intention's always there, but I'm I don't know. I think I'm the first now. I've just seen our tendencies and the patterns in the past where everyone wants to do stuff. I'm like, okay, now we got to make it happen. And what's the plan? And if it's not going to be there, let's just do everybody a favor and bow out before we, make some commitment we can't keep.
Sure. So you guys open for, I mean, I know everybody always asks you about this and fucking probably me too, but you guys opened for Lamb of God in what was it, 2009, right? Yeah,
it was 2009. It was right around this time too. I think it was December something.
Yeah, cool. So what do you have to say about that? How was that? Was that awesome or was it weird or what the fuck? Did you get to meet any of them? Tell me.
That was a dope experience, man. It was pretty last minute. I think it was within 2 weeks of the show. We were contacted by some promoter out of Regina. I don't know if it was Zandra, but somebody out of Regina that they were looking for an opener for the Saskatoon show at Prairie Land. They asked a few people and everybody said our name. So they called us and then, next thing we're on the show with Lamb of God. We walk in the place. Niels wanted us to wear the sparkly shirts. So we had these sparkly shirts in the bag. We're like, okay, we're gonna put on the sparkly shirts before we play. What should we put on now or put on later, whatever. And we're walking backstage at Prairie Land. Really cool roadies. These guys run up to our van and they're helping us unload our gear, and we felt like little princes back there. And right away Randy comes running out and he kind of introduced himself, or shook our hands and stuff, and started showing us around. Yeah, it was funny. I don't know if he was sober at the time or something. He was just like a little kid. He was just really friendly and personable, which was the exact opposite experience I had with him the other two times I bumped into him just randomly at shows in Saskatoon. I'd see him and I'd always just get this impression he was just a dick.
Yeah, right.
But
get out of my way.
Yeah. Keep walking. Yeah.
Yeah, keep walk on home, boy.
Yeah, but he was sweet. He was showing us around backstage. And the coolest thing was that when it came our time to play, we opened the set, we played first, and a couple of guys from Lamb of God were standing on the side of the stage rocking out during a song or two of ours. So that was like a sweet little nod, just that they're, half the time, bands that you're friends with don't even, watch you after a while. It's just like you've seen a million bands and you're sitting in the back bobbing your head or whatever, but it's just cool that these guys are right there actually rocking out. And then,
and that shows you they know good music too, because fuck, how many times when they're on tour is there a Lamb of God clone that's locally opening up for them, right?
Oh,
and
I'll
just tell everybody right now, go check out Sparky. If you can't find it, put Saskatchewan in there somehow. But you guys are definitely not a Lamb of God clone.
No, not at all.
Your guys' shit is very original and all over the place. So, thanks, very coherent and killer. So that's good that they're like, what the fuck is this? This isn't just fucking Killswitch Engage 2.
Yeah, I think it's always nice when you can surprise somebody a little bit. That's what we're all looking for as old guys. It's harder and harder to surprise yourself, or for anybody to make you perk your ears up, so you've heard it all, seen it all before, you've had that experience or whatever. So yeah, maybe that was it. It was just kind of catches them off guard. That's what I love about Meshuggah and Mr. Bungle and weird ass bands like that, where you can't always catch on the trail that they're weaving, you know. That throws you off, and that's what I like about it. It's like a puzzle that you just can't. It's like, fuck, I wouldn't have guessed that next. That's not the way I would have went.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's good times. Fucking A.
Who are you playing with these days? Or sort of.
Oh, I'm still in Kayaktis. Yeah,
you guys are still active?
Oh yeah. We're everybody's been asking us to do shows, and we've unfortunately had to refuse a bunch of them because we're writing, and we had really kind of went at the writing process a couple different ways that didn't work, that cost a bunch of years really, but now we're kind of like on a roll. So I just kind of want to do this in one fluid motion, you know, like just write and record and get it down really good and get it recorded and put it out and then go play every fucking show, you know?
Fuck yeah. Yeah,
go tour the world to show it to everybody, and then after that, decide if we want to do it again.
Right, but yeah, give it the proper attention it deserves. That's harder and harder, I find, as you get older, to really just immerse yourself in something, because you have to get pulled out of your zone. You know, you gotta take your kid to school, and your wife's got to go here, and you're doing this, and you gotta go on a date.
Yeah, but all that stuff aside, like let's say I never had a wife or kid. It's to me, it's got to be done in a certain way. You know, like, or what ended up happening with us anyways, we ended up throwing away a bunch of songs because we were just trying to shit them out to get them out. And like, so it's like, whoa, okay, let's take our time and do this the proper way. And but to find the time, like, that's the only reason I removed the family kind of thing from it, is no matter what, you got to find the time.
Yeah.
And you got to...
No matter what the circumstance.
To me, yeah, and I think we're smarter now that we're older, and we should act like it. And I'm kind of convinced that, you know, everybody, well, in my band at least, like, I can see it happen. They're like, let's go play a show, man. Let's do this show. We got offered this show. And it's like I'm sorry to be that guy to put the brakes on it and stuff. Like, I don't want to put the brakes on anything, but I want to just do it right, you know?
Yeah, that's me too, man. Mr. Realist.
Because I think it'll end up saving us time in the end, because if we put 6 months on writing and recording it, then boom, that's done.
Yeah.
If it's like every time you throw a show into the mix, it's like, okay, we got to drop everything. We got to relearn all our old shit. And, you know, like, we're on a real writing kind of flow right now. So that was the idea, was to get that going and keep it going.
Yeah, that's a good idea, man. That's a mature move to not just jump around like that. Cause yeah, if you put all the forces, you know, aim your whole army in one direction, like, you're going to, you know, if you're in touring mode, get tight at the set you're going to be playing on tour, or the songs that you're going to be picking from, and focus on that. If you're in writing mode, you don't want to think about your old shit at all. You want, you know, you're looking for some new shit to inhabit that space. You're trying to get yourself off again and fucking make yourself, you know, fucking nod your head and slam your head back. You know, you want to play that shit back and be like, this is the music I want to listen to, right?
Yes, exactly. And that's a good point, is not thinking about the old stuff at all to try to make new. Like, how else could you do it?
Yeah.
You're constantly stuck in the old stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which, it's been great though. We're getting together, like, basically for the last month, Doug and I have been getting together and putting shit together, and now it's all ready to jam on as a band. So I'm pumped for jam tomorrow.
Yeah. And you haven't been working out of the Slaughterhouse for a while, right?
No, I haven't worked there since 2011, but then I've been working at Dickens and Distortion, doing live stuff ever since.
Okay.
And then still doing studio stuff, still recording bands, and
do you do
I'm
that?
Just kind of. Sorry?
What do you use for a studio space?
That's the thing. I kind of float around. I'm like a renegade, man. I'm like Mr. Freelancer without an actual home right now. But that's cool, because I mean, with the way that, I mean, I do a ton of metal bands, and stuff because I don't have a studio to just like I don't have just a vocal booth I could do stuff in or something.
Yeah.
But besides this podcast, my garage, but so I do end up doing a lot of metal bands and stuff. And I mean, really, you kind of only need a room for drums. So we'll just go get a cool place for the weekend, and usually we can smash out drums in a day or 2 or 3.
Yep.
And then everything else we just do, I don't know, in their basement or depends. I mean, I have gone to like vocal booths to do vocals and stuff, but
yeah,
you don't have to have some perfect place to do that either.
No, really. And
especially
if you got a laptop and a suitcase with some mics in it and a little rack, you can get it done anywhere.
Fucking A, exactly. Yeah. A few special mics. Yeah, I got some mics definitely that I'm building up here, which is killer. And then, but yeah, now to get onto the expensive pre's like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, preamps will kill you. Man,
sorry?
Oh, I was just going to say, I've really been enjoying using the mixing board as much as possible, just using all pre's from one source, just to have like this phase coherence and be using the same EQ and the same kind of level setting. It's kind of liberating. And even to run some of my outboard pre's, run the line outs into the board. So just everything's right there. EQ, you carve out some of that shit that doesn't need to be there on the way in, and just kind of less stuff to deal with later.
No, that's killer. I'd love to come out there and either record or be part of recording or something one day. That'd be killer, man.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about your podcast a bit, Conjecture Time.
Sure, man.
What made you? I mean, besides Joe Rogan, he's kind of like the Jesus of podcasting, isn't he?
Right.
I mean, and then Bill Burr would be like the fucking Moses or something.
Yeah,
Fuck, do you realize that guy's been podcasting since like 2005 or something ridiculous? Bill Burr.
Right.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But yeah, so was it purely Joe Rogan that got you into wanting to podcast, or?
Oh, that was definitely my my gateway. Like I listened to him first, and then started listening to a bunch of his comedian friends. Duncan
like
Trussell.
Which ones?
Duncan Trussell was probably one of the first ones I branched out into.
Sure.
Duncan Trussell Family Hour, and checked out Ari Shafir's for a while.
Yeah.
Joey Diaz, Church of What's Happening Now. Fuck, he gets...
Cocksucker.
Oh, he just gets me belly laughing sometimes, man. Hurts me. Yeah, and then like the, hundreds of guests he's had on there. I've checked out all those guys, like whatever. Well, Tony Hinchcliffe was introduced to me through there, and Kill Tony is one of my favorites.
Yeah. I listen to every Kill. I think I've listened to at least the last 100 of them for sure.
Oh yeah, it's great, man. And I love that stuff. Like it makes some people cringe, but you never know if it's going to be a train wreck or just magic's going to happen. But I just love the tension and the mystery. You don't know what's coming.
Yeah, for people that don't know what we're talking about, Kill Tony is a podcast done every Monday in LA at the Comedy Store by Tony Hinchcliffe, who's a hilarious comedian, and he's got Red Band and all those other guys. Mm-hmm. And they do it at the Comedy Store, and they put names in a hat, and they pick names out of the hat, and these guys do 1 minute of stand-up. And yeah, like he's saying, they either bomb super hard. I mean, I would say the ratio is pretty high, actually, of them bombing.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of bombing.
Yeah, like some of these, you can tell these are like kids hanging out in these alt rooms and stuff where there's like poetry slams going on and all this, like, I don't know, meetings.
Just a first timer, just a insane person off the street.
Yeah, for sure.
You get some of those. Once in a while, you get somebody who's been doing it for a while or who's good at it. And even if for a good comedian, 1 minute is not easy to get up there and establish yourself and be funny in a minute. So it's give them some slack.
Yeah. What is kind of amazing to me is how many people don't finish the minute.
Yeah.
and like kind of by a lot, sometimes you're like, wow, man, that was like 40 seconds, 30 seconds.
Yeah. You were off by like a third.
Yeah, and they'll just sit there and like make noises in the mic and like laugh at themselves. It's weird.
Yeah, you don't think you'd try and have an extra 15 seconds just in your back pocket, maybe just in case? Like if you're in a band, you got to play a 40-minute set. You're not gonna, have 38 minutes of material, and like if you speed it up a little bit, it's gonna be 35 minutes, and you're always gonna have an extra song or two.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, it's funny, and they always say, "Oh, a minute's really hard to do," or "I didn't think I'd get picked."
Yeah, I never thought I'd get up.
But yeah, that's kind of a car wreck podcast. Any other ones you listen to?
Regularly, I like. I'll listen to Nerdist once in a while, depending who's on there. You made
Who?
it.
Oh, Nerdist. Okay.
Yeah. You made it weird. Pete Holmes. He goes pretty deep with some people. WTF, depending who's on Mark Maron's podcast.
Oh yeah, I've never listened to that one.
Yeah,
I wanted to listen. He had Obama on, didn't he?
Yeah. No, his
That's
podcast, his is
crazy.
huge. Like him and Rogan are, both huge.
Sure.
I'd say like in that same level. Maybe Rogan's about bigger numbers. I don't know, but WTF is right up there.
Yeah, cool. So, you ever heard of Legion of Skanks?
Yes, I've Big J Okerson and Louis J Gomez. Yeah, I've been hearing them on other podcasts, so it kind of cross pollinates, and then I've checked out a couple episodes of that now.
They are unreal.
Oh,
they
man,
really push it, man. It's hilarious what they get away with. If you like Howard Stern, you should listen to this.
Right.
And if you're gonna I don't know, if you get triggered over stuff, you should listen to it too.
Yeah, totally. I think it's just a way of weeding out anybody who gets triggered by anything, saying like, if we just push in this direction as much as possible, let's just be all offensive to everybody, and then it kind of takes the power away from it,
Sure. It's amazing how they do it.
Yeah, those guys are
awesome.
hilarious.
Cool, yeah. I listen to most of those too. We were talking a bit before. I love the Stanhope podcast. It's hilarious. He's just hammered all the time.
Yeah. Oh, I just heard him on Bert Kreischer's podcast. The Bert.
Oh yeah, I didn't listen to that one yet.
Yeah, and him and Stanhope do a podcast in one of Johnny Depp's guest houses somewhere. They're just like Stanhope staying at Johnny Depp's guest house, and they're just hanging out there drinking and smoking and podcasting. Depp wasn't there, but it was his place.
Yeah, I know they're friends.
Yeah.
They're good friends somehow. There's a famous picture of them in a Walmart together.
Oh, really? Yeah, Stanhope kind of...
or a Target, I think.
Oh, yeah. Stanhope talks about it a little bit on that podcast. So I think Marilyn Manson showed Johnny Depp this Doug Stanhope bit, like, a video on YouTube or something, and Depp right away was like, oh, shit, I could hang out with this guy. And then they became buddies.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah, how cool is that?
He is fucking hilarious, man. God damn, he is probably my favorite walking comedian.
Yeah, and he's right in that alley with those Legion of Skanks guys, like same neighborhood. You just fucking say nothing is off limits. It's just personal to the max. It's no shame. Dick's coming out.
That's how art should be.
Yeah, it's funny right now too. Like he's not to talk too much about other fucking guys' podcasts or whatever, but yeah, he's putting a book out right now, and it was just like he's been putting it all together before this whole wave of rapists and molesters and pedophiles being dug up from
outed.
The soil and outed, and Me Too movement and everything. And it's like his whole book is about all of that kind of shit that he's done. So he's saying me first. Like I'll tell you about it first. Outing himself. It's strange times.
Yeah, I heard him. He went on Rogan the other day too. I heard him say something to that. It's like,
yeah,
that's how you get in. I mean, what person that I hang out with has never been groped by me? Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna see my dick at some point.
Yeah, it's tough. Like you can't discount all of it, but how much of it is just remorse? Like 20 years later, somebody feels like, actually that was inappropriate. I'm going to say something too now. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I've heard the people coming out are the ones that said no, apparently. Yeah. Apparently the ones that said yes are very, very famous. But anyways, I try not to talk about what I call dinner table talk.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
As much as I'd love to. I really would love to.
Out of our control.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Stanhope's hilarious. So you were talking about Kill Tony a second ago there, and so I noticed that you've had Melissa Esslinger on your podcast twice.
Yeah.
Just that, and your newest one was with her again.
Yeah.
So, did you know that I've met her?
No.
Yeah, this is hilarious. So, and it's kind of I was listening to that podcast today, and that's kind of what number is it? 16 or something? Conjecture
yeah, it's only like
16?
I think 15. Yeah, that's
15. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't done very many.
And it was kind of the catalyst to where we are now. But yeah, it's hilarious. So, did you know that I recorded the Jason Rouse CD? Do you know Jason Rouse?
Yeah, I remember he hosted the Metal Fest that we played at, I believe.
That's right. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And
yeah, met him there.
So I ended up doing a record with him, a live record. And my band Kayaktis played down in Berkeley. We got invited to this festival in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And it had just worked out that Rouse's CD release from the CD that I made was the next night after we played in Hollywood.
Holy shit.
So yeah, no doubt. So and the tickets from San Francisco, or Oakland, I think we flew out of Oakland, to LA were like $69. So we just flew, and Nancy and I, and yeah, we went and raged in Hollywood for a night. It was fucking killer, man. And we went to Rouse's, and I had been listening to Kill Tony a whole ton, and Rouse played at the Laugh Factory, I believe, is the other big one.
That's just down the street.
But yeah, we ended up going to the Comedy Store a couple times. Bobby Lee was there one night.
Oh yeah.
He was freaked out by me. He was scared of me. He's like, "Oh God, this big fan guy keeps wanting to talk to me."
Yeah. It's Vikings
I wasn't fanboying or anything, but too bad, I don't think.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that night Rouse played, and we ended up at this after party, and Melissa Esslinger was there. I think she was actually on his show. Because guess who else was on his show too? Darren Rose. Do you know who he is?
Darren Rose?
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I just heard that name somewhere, but no, go on.
So on the Comedy Network, they have Match Game, the revive, the old game from the 60s.
Oh, yes.
Match Game.
You know where I just heard this? I was listening to your podcast with Big James with the Stab, Twist, Pull. Yeah, and I heard you mention this. That's where I just heard it.
Oh.
You were talking about
it. Oh, yeah, crazy. Oh, sorry, everybody. Bringing up the same stories already.
No, that's cool. So this guy was at that party? He was like hosting it or something?
He was performing that night, and he was quite funny, actually. And because it was Nancy and I, right? And sometimes people don't realize that we're not married or banging or anything. We're just friends.
Right.
And she's a little older than me. So he pointed at us and he's like, "Are you two a couple?" And I'm just like, "Nope." And with like the whole crowd's looking at me, and it's like, "Well, I'm not gonna lie, like we're not a couple." And he's like, So sorry, Darren Rose, didn't mean to fuck your joke up on stage there.
Yeah, just thought it was a surefire thing. Like, oh, there's a couple.
Yeah, but yeah, I ended up doing like shots with Red Band that night, I believe.
Nice.
And it was weird. He didn't want to do. He's like, Jaeger. Oh, gross.
Give me some peach schnapps.
Yeah. I don't get it, but But yeah, no, I hung out with her a bit, and it was so. What, like, how did that come about with Melissa Esslinger? Like, how did it come about that you had her on the podcast? Like, why would you even think to do it once to begin with?
One thing was I was just a huge comedy fan, a huge Kill Tony fan, and she just seemed accessible. She seemed like reachable. I think maybe she followed me back on Twitter. Like I followed her, and I don't know if she followed me back before the podcast. So then I thought, oh, she follows me back. I can direct message her, and I just put it out there. Hey, I've got this little podcast I'm doing. If you'd be interested, it'd be awesome to pick your brain about Kill Tony and chat with you, interview you, whatever. And she got back. Yeah. So yeah, we just had a little back and forth and eventually arranged it. And it was funny that time. That was the first time I ever did a Skype podcast. And I drove to a ditch somewhere. Like I found a spot on the back road. Yeah, it actually had good like cell service over there. So I just tethered, and it was better in that area than it is at the studio here. I had to like find a high hill. Saskatchewan. Yeah, man, it's funny.
Hilarious.
Get out of the valley a bit. And so we just had a chat on there, and then we said, at the end of that one, said we got to do it again sometime, catch up. And meanwhile, I just haven't been consistent with my podcast. I'd have 2-3 months between episodes. So over a year went by, and we'd been in touch, and she said, yeah, let's do it again. And I was thinking like, oh, I should have some other ones first and then go back and do it. But I thought, what the hell? Let's see how she's grown. I love comedy, and I want to see like somebody who's actually in action in those early, in that incubation stage. And
that's what's really interesting about her in particular. Like I started listening to that show before she even started on it. Mm-hmm. And then I listened to all of it, and I still listen to it. So it was, man, you could tell she is fucking terrified up there, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't believe that he actually made her for people that don't know, there's the 1 minute with the Kill Tony, and then they have a regular. They had 2 for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a regular, and then they have that dumb band on the podcast of comedians.
The best damn band in the land.
And like one of them plays a saxophone, and one of them plays drums, and then another guy has guitar, I guess.
Yeah, Jeremiah, Joel, and Pat.
But yeah, they like now they just have the one regular, Ali Makovsky, and then she was the only at the time too, I think. But yeah, man, it was rough. It was rough listening to her.
Oh,
it was like, holy fuck.
You could like hear her shaking.
You can hear her shaking. It's like, this person's going to fold up inside themselves. Like, how the hell?
I know. And she kept going back. That was like, that's probably, what Tony saw in her was that she keeps doing it. And there's obviously funny under there if she could just get those nerves to fucking relax.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? I mean, good for her. I've been toying with the idea in my mind of doing stand-up forever, and I haven't done it. So, she's got 1 million on me, but...
Yeah, for some reason, it's funny. I in my head, I thought you were doing it. I thought, oh, fuck, Nate's doing it. And I'm the same way, man. I'm just such a fan and just a delusional comedian in my head. I'm like, oh, I got all these good ideas. I feel like I could be a decent comedy writer, but I'm like, how would I deliver these things that I'm writing? In my head they're funny, but how would I transport this, idea out loud and make it sound funny? I think it's all in the delivery. But you've got, man, you're a natural comedian. I think when you let loose, if you like organized your shit, you could easily fucking. Your personality, your presence alone is half of it. You're interesting right away just to look at.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so funny. It's just, I even started writing down some premises, but then I go back to it and I'm like, what? Or I'm like, oh, that's not bad. Or I'm like, that's fucking garbage.
Right.
So anyways, Yeah, maybe I'll get it figured out one day. It'd be pretty hilarious to start doing comedy at 35 or.
Man, I'll do it with you. Let's document it. Let's do it.
Well, I would do some fucking writing with you too. That would be hilarious, man. Let's do it.
That would
Let's start writing jokes. Let's start writing jokes. I want to have a late night show eventually. This is the beginning of my late night show. Getting late with Nate, dude.
Getting late with Nate. Have you checked out Norm Macdonald Live?
Have I checked out Norm Macdonald Live?
Yeah, like his podcast.
Oh, the show. The show. Oh, it's a podcast?
Well, it's like a podcast, video, web show. You know, but man, his guests, he gets the fucking Jim Carrey was his last one. He had Jerry Seinfeld.
No.
Insane. David Letterman. Like this is all within the last, so many months.
Dude.
So huge. Yeah. Like these guys fucking have reverence for Norm. He's in the comedy world. He's a patron saint.
Well, yeah, no doubt. See, that's what makes podcasting hard too, is zero connections.
Right.
Like it'd be a totally different story if I could get Norm Macdonald on my podcast. I bet I could, actually. I should fucking try harder.
Yeah. Let's try a little. But yeah, then I don't know. There's something cool about that too. Just the underground, just connecting with the level you're at, in your community and kind of broadcasting what's going on right there in your space. But yeah, of course it's awesome to network with those guys. Like you had, I was just talking to Simon, you had Sam Tripoli on your podcast, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've had 4 comedians.
And you've had Rouse?
Rouse, Tripoli, and Hunter Collins, and Ron Vaudry.
Okay.
Ron Vaudry he's some, I should have him on again. He's some go check him out. He's hilarious. And he's been banned from Canada or some shit. Like he goes to the UK a bunch, and I don't know. He just seems he's one of these guys that fucked up somewhere along the line or pissed off the wrong guy. I don't know what the fuck happened. I have zero idea what happened. Just purely making this up.
Yeah. But, they're the most interesting guys to talk to.
Yeah. It's good to get the old sour guy's perspective. Maybe that's what I'll do, is just get all those people.
Yeah,
pissed off end of I'll get fucking Corey Feldman on my podcast.
Just a streak of salty old men.
Oh man, holy shit. So, sorry, we've digressed off of Melissa Eschlinger. So, I guess you answered the question though. You're just a fan and you got a hold of her and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was just through Twitter, just reached out and she reached back and thought, sweet, this is accessible. I can do the podcast. I'll find a good ditch, and we did it. Yeah.
Yeah, found a good ditch, yeah. Very cool. Well, isn't that amazing about Twitter and all this shit? Like, the whole internet thing seems odd to me because this is where it truly connects people. Otherwise, it just totally disconnects people in some weird way to me.
Yeah.
But you can reach out to people, and sometimes they will answer back.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's another place where communities are formed, and they're not physical, but it's still real, having those connections.
Yeah, for sure. I bet you, like I say, I bet I could get a hold of Norm Macdonald if I really tried.
Yeah, probably could. Oh, Adam Egan is his good buddy, hey? And he's the booker at the Comedy Store, right?
Who's that?
Adam Egan.
I don't know him.
I guess, yeah, you probably wouldn't know him if you didn't know Norm's podcast. He's like his sidekick on the podcast. He I don't know if he's co-producer or what, but just his sidekick. He's kind of his fall man. Norm can just shit on him if he wants to, and he gives him he kind of sets him up for bad jokes and stuff. But he's the booker at the Comedy Store. Adam Egan. He's a funny guy.
Awesome. Cool. So you're working on a swing record. Is that what you said earlier?
Yeah, not quite swing. I don't know. Big. I don't know, what would it be? Yeah,
you were saying
crooner, big band.
Crooner. There we go. I like it.
Yeah.
I have a buddy of mine, his little brother from my hometown of Silverton, Oregon. It's this tiny little town. I guess there's 10,000 there now, but
Okay.
He's like 25, but he is the reincarnation of Frank Sinatra. It's fucking insane.
Sorry, who's this? Your brother?
A buddy of mine I went to school with, his brother.
Okay. He's just got the voice.
Yeah, his name's Joe Dustin. Look him up, everybody. He's a crooner. It's hilarious. It's cool to know one. Could you imagine if you knew Michael Bublé? How rad that would be.
Totally. Or Josh Groban. He's a big comedy guy. Hey?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's been on some comedy podcasts before. Have you ever listened to Comedy Bang Bang?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that one for a while, but it's like a sketch show. It can be pretty hit or miss too. Like they'll do characters and it can be fucking brilliant and hilarious, or sometimes it can be annoying and wear thin on you, but that's just kind of the nature of improv, I think. But yeah, Comedy Bang Bang, check that one out. They've had Josh Groban on there a time or two. I think he's been on the Nerdist before too. But yeah, he's a funny dude.
Weird, Josh Groban.
Yeah, you never think
it. Right on. Yeah, I'm working on this record with Concrete Funeral. They're death metal, thrash death metal band from here in Cowtown.
You say Concrete Jitto?
Concrete Funeral.
Oh, Funeral. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're a killer. It's good times.
Awesome, man.
Got some guitars, some bass. We got drums down. We got first guitars. So we're about a third of the way through.
Beauty. What are you using for an interface these days?
My buddy has a Digico live desk.
Okay.
But like Digico is really high end. And just like the preamps are really good. And I don't know. It's all digital, really clean and stuff. It's nothing, it's not like $1 million, $100,000 shit, but it's a piece of that.
Yeah.
As close as I can get. So do all the tracking on that. A lot of the stuff I've been doing, we just do cymbals and snare and then do electric kit for everything else in the studio.
Oh, really?
Just to save time. And dude, the new fucking TD-50s and shit, it's nuts. Like I want to, the next band I'm recording, I was like, man, if you guys go rent this kit and we try this out, I mean, everything's getting so nuts now. So anyways, with the new, and then Superior Drummer 3 and all this stuff, it's like, holy shit.
You just take the MIDI channels out of there and then trigger Superior Drummer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But like, I don't know how they've been able to make MIDI so sensitive. I guess it's just a fuck ton of sensors or something, but it's pretty cool. I'd like to hear it with all the cymbals. But like the last band I did, yeah, they didn't even want to use the snare. They're like, let's just do cymbals, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Right. Oh, that must make mixing, yeah, super easy, super clean.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to do it this way. You guys aren't going to want to, and here's why. So let's do it this way. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, man. It's all in the results.
It just saves time for everybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. As long as the drummers are comfortable playing on the electric kits, and a lot of metal guys are just disciplined like that, where they can play really mechanically and it's not going to make a huge difference for them.
Yeah, sure. But like fucking snare rolls and shit were kind of impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was picking up, like even if you drop your stick when you weren't supposed to hit.
Yeah, just a little buzz rolls.
And it wasn't a misfire. Like it was a tiny hit from Buddy just letting his stick touch the skin.
Yeah.
at the same velocity it would be if you actually did that. So I don't know. It's just getting really realistic.
Ultra Sensy. Yeah, I have one of the old TD3. I don't know. I think it's TD3 kits.
Oof.
It's like, yeah.
That sounds old.
Yeah, the old Roland one of the originals. But it was the original, like, 5-piece kit, just 2 cymbals and the hats. And I've got one in the basement just for a practice kit, just so I can tap away on those at night when the wife and kids are sleeping, put headphones on.
Yeah, cool.
It's been awesome. I've been playing drums a lot more lately.
Sorry. Oh, cool. Right on.
Yeah, man.
That's sweet. Have you seen any of the TD50s, the newer, like, high-end ones? Like, I think the TD50 is actually, like, 20 grand.
No, not I haven't seen the 50. I remember the 30, I think, is the last big one I've seen.
Yeah, it's fucking impressive, man. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, they've come a long way.
And because of Long and McQuaid, you can just go fucking rent one sometime.
Yeah, if it's a big enough store, they'll put one of those in rentals. It's fucking tight.
Yeah, for sure. Fucking A. Cool. Well, fuck, man. Thanks a lot for doing this.
Dude, thanks for being on Conjecture Hard Yard. I was going to try to mash failure.
Conjecture Yard Hard Time.
So is your just before we wrap it up here, I got to know you're in the shed right now, or you're in your garage?
Yeah, I'm in the garage. Yeah.
Okay.
The war room.
What happened to the bus?
The bus is sitting outside. It's not a tall bus.
It's short.
It's a short bus, and I would always have to be hunched over in it. And fuck, I just, like, once we moved here, I'm like, I'm taking this corner.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing you didn't call the podcast like Getting Hard in the Bus or something, because then you got to be like, we're not in the bus. It's too small.
Yeah, exactly. I just dropped the ending song, Get the Fuck Off Our Bus.
Yeah.
That's the only change that happened.
Right. A quick edit.
Mm-hmm. I want to thank you. I haven't used the intro music that you have let us use. If for people that don't know, the older podcasts had, what was the name of that tune? You had to change it, right?
Yeah, we had to release it as RMW. It was called Robin Williams.
RMW. Yeah, it was called Robin Williams. Yeah.
Yeah.
And cool little instrumental you guys busted out of nowhere.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was from just a random jam, and we thought, let's stick that on there. We've got so much of that shit in the archives. I'm like, I should dig more of that out and just fucking mix some of it up and release it.
That's hilarious. Fuck. So you got like a terabyte laying around somewhere of that shit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
Hours and hours of jams, yeah.
Just make your own band.
Yeah, just sample shit that we've done in the past. And this is my new shit now, guys. Haha, see you later.
Yeah, this is called balls.
I put it all here in my sampler. I don't need you anymore.
Oh, man. That is hilarious.
Yeah, we'll have to get together in person here one of these days, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Not to talk about the weather, but has it been real snowy and shitty out where you are?
Lately we had a little bit of snowfall here and there, but it's, I don't know, the last week or two it's been pretty mild. Single digits.
Same here, man.
Yeah, it's like, I think it was like 3 today or something. It's been really windy.
It was fucking 11 here today.
Holy shit.
I couldn't believe it. Like almost all the snow's gone. It's fucking nuts. It's the middle of December. It's wild.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, it's so funny how it changes from year to year. It's just weird.
Oh yeah, and then our scale as these little like humans that live like 72 years or whatever. It's like, think of the cycles that the Earth goes through, and we think it's like, this is not normal because it didn't do this last year, the last 10 years, but thinking like 100 or 1,000 year chunks, how much it varies, I'm sure, year to year.
Oh, fuck yeah. Well, that's some of the only TV I like to watch is the weather, actually, because sometimes they'll put the record by it.
Right.
And, it's like 1953. What the fuck? It was like, 22 that day. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. That happens. It's just, and imagine back in the day when it was so much fucking harder to move around, how huge it would have been to get let off on the winter like this.
Oh yeah.
Like, fuck, if you're trying to cross the Rockies or something, you know.
Oh man, yeah. No wonder people would always find some, heavenly spirit to thank or something for. Like, oh, we're gonna live a little bit longer. We're gonna make it to fucking BC or wherever we're going.
No doubt. Crazy. We're pretty fucking lucky, man, to be where we are living in this timeline.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dimension, universe, solar system.
Yeah, man. We're like the Goldilocks place and time.
Yeah.
Right now. There's just like
chaos.
It seems like there's chaos all around us, but I don't know. In your own community, like I forget which comedian, I think it was Bill Hicks, saying like the news is talking about, nuclear war, and there's rape and there's drugs and then terrorist bombings and things. And then he looks out the window. There's just like a bird flies by, the wind's blowing. I don't know. There's shit happening everywhere, but really it's all about what's happening fucking in your little bubble.
Yeah, exactly. We're fucking lucky, man. Well,
yeah, we are.
Like, look at this. Look at the technology. I'm fucking sitting. I have a laptop, my iPhone, and an iPad, and a printer, and portable heat, and audio technology. It's pretty fucking rad.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Well, it's been a total pleasure, man. Thanks a lot for doing this so impromptu, and thanks for swapcasting.
Yeah, nice catching up with you, buddy. When are you going to release this?
Oh, fuck. I don't know. As soon as you can get me the tracks, maybe.
Cool.
I'd like to just bang them off if I can. Yeah,
we'll be in touch. Okay, it's been a pleasure, man. Hey, what's your Nate Reno, Big Nate Productions on Twitter, Instagram?
At Nate Reno on Twitter.
Okay.
At Nate Reno on Instagram. I rarely go on there though.
Don't use it much.
But I have 100 followers.
Well, there you go.
I heard I have 100 followers.
Well, at least they're real ones. They weren't paid for.
Right. Oh yeah. Do I? Okay.
Well, maybe not. But either, awesome. Yeah, for people that don't know, Nate runs his own production company, all kinds, everything audio related.
Yeah. Oh, Big Nate. Yeah, Big Nate Productions. You can stream this at bignateproductions.com.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you host your podcast through there too.
Yeah, the podcast is technically called Getting Hard in Nate's Backyard.
And it's hosted through bignateproductions.com.
Yes. Sweet. And also on Apple, on iTunes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, you should be able to search Getting Hard in Nate's Backyard. Yeah.
Check it out. And on my end, it'll be on conjecturetime.com. There's a little player on there.
Oh, cool.
You can download it through there. It'll be on iTunes. I've been having trouble with the fucking YouTube uploader. It's been kind of a pain in the ass, but it'll be on YouTube and it'll go eventually. It's going to go to Spotify and Google Play Music and all that right away too. I just have to hit the destination buttons and send it out and fill in the forms and check it out.
Fucking hey, man! I gotta catch up. I gotta get on all that shit too.
Oh, I know the email box. There's just so much shit in the email box every day. Something's being updated, and there's just more stuff to do. It's like there's a pile of crap on your desk you don't get paid to do.
No doubt.
Yeah, brother. Treadmill.
All right, well,
time.
hang on the line for a sec after we're done here. But yeah, thanks for getting hard in Nate's backyard.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for taking that conjecture time for me.
All right, cheers.
All right,
let's talk for real.
You got stuff, man.
Leave it behind the bus. Yeah, and there you go. Conjecture Time, episode 16 in the bag. Uploaded online, so you can listen to it, not quite real time, but on your own time, whenever it works for you. I'm thinking of doing a new challenge next month, January 1st of whatever. Everybody does their New Year's resolutions, but I'm going to start doing a monthly challenge just to push myself to not get stuck in grooves. You know, it's good to be groovy, but you don't want to be a slave to the groove. And one thing I am a slave to, like probably half of the working population of North America, is coffee. Oh, yeah, coffee's delicious. Love that coffee. Can't start the day without my cup of Java. Fuck it. I'm going to cut it off. I got to do a month with no coffee. I've said it. I said it here. It's recorded. Now I have to do it. January. Fuck coffee month. Yeah, it's beautiful. Of course we all love it. We can't operate without it. That's why I got to do it. No coffee. 1 month. January. I guess I'll do tea. I'm sure I'll drink a lot more water, which is always a good thing. No coffee, January 1st through 30th or 31st, depending how many days are in your January, in your local time zone. All right, join me or don't. I don't care. That's just my challenge. 1 month, no coffee, January. Hey, have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great holiday. Christmas, Hanukkah. Did Hanukkah just pass or is it coming up? I am not sure. But Merry Christmas. I hope your Boxing Day is just as beautiful. And your Kwanzaa, I hope, is very nice. And everybody gets along. And yeah.